Then the children of Israel moved and camped in the plains of Moab on the side of the Jordan across from Jericho. Now Balak, the son of Zippor, saw all that Israel had done to the Amorites. And Moab was exceedingly afraid of the people, because they were many. And Moab was sick with dread because of the children of Israel. So Moab said to the elders of Midian,
"Now this company will lick up everything around us, as an ox licks up the grass of the field."
And Balak, the son of Zippor, was king of the Moabites at that time. Then he sent messengers to Balaam, the son of Beor, at Pethor, which is near the river in the land of the sons of his people, to call him, saying,
Look, a people has come from Egypt. See, they cover the face of the earth and are settling next to me. Therefore, please come at once. Curse this people for me, for they are too mighty for me. Perhaps I shall be able to defeat them and drive them out of the land. For I know that he whom you bless is blessed, and he whom you curse is cursed.
So the elders of Moab and the elders of Midian departed, with the diviner's fee in their hand. And they came to Balaam and spoke to him the words of Balak. And he said to them,
Lodge here tonight, and I will bring back word to you, as the Lord speaks to me.
So the princes of Moab stayed with Balaam. Then God came to Balaam and said,
Who are these men with you?
Balak the son of Zippor, king of Moab, has sent to me, saying, Look, a people has come out of Egypt, and they cover the face of the earth. Come now, curse them for me. Perhaps I shall be able to overpower them and drive them out.
You shall not go with them. You shall not curse the people, for they are blessed.
So Balaam rose in the morning and said to the princes of Balak,
Go back to your land, for the Lord has refused to give me permission to go with you.
And the princes of Moab rose and went to Balak and said,
Balaam refuses to come with us.
Then Balak again sent princes, more numerous and more honorable than they. And they came to Balaam and said to him,
Thus says Balak, the son of Zippor, Please let nothing hinder you from coming to me, for I will certainly honor you greatly, and I will do whatever you say to me. Therefore, please, come, curse this people for me.
Then Balaam answered and said to the servants of Balak,
Though Balak were to give me his house full of silver and gold, I could not go beyond the word of the Lord my God to do less or more. Now, therefore, please, you also stay here tonight, that I may know what more the Lord will say to me.
And God came to Balaam at night and said to him,
If the men come to call you, rise and go with them. But only the word which I speak to you, that you shall do.
So Balaam rose in the morning, saddled his donkey, and went with the princes of Moab. Then God's anger was aroused because he went, and the angel of the Lord took his stand in the way as an adversary against him. And he was riding on his donkey, and his 2 servants were with him. Now the donkey saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way, with his drawn sword in his hand. And the donkey turned aside out of the way, and went into the field. So Balaam struck the donkey to turn her back onto the road. Then the angel of the Lord stood in a narrow path between the vineyards, with a wall on this side and a wall on that side. And when the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, she pushed herself against the wall and crushed Balaam's foot against the wall. So he struck her again. Then the angel of the Lord went further and stood in a narrow place where there was no way to turn either to the right hand or to the left. And when the donkey saw the angel of the Lord, she lay down under Balaam. So Balaam's anger was aroused, and he struck the donkey with his staff. Then the Lord opened the mouth of the donkey, and she said to Balaam,
What have I done to you, that you have struck me these 3 times?
And Balaam said to the donkey,
Because you have abused me. I wish there were a sword in my hand, for now I would kill you.
Am I not your donkey, on which you have ridden ever since I became yours to this day? Was I ever disposed to do this to you?
No.
Then the Lord opened Balaam's eyes, and he saw the angel of the Lord standing in the way with his drawn sword in his hand. And he bowed his head and fell flat on his face. And the angel of the Lord said to him,
Why have you struck your donkey these 3 times? Behold, I have come out to stand against you, because your way is perverse before me. The donkey saw me and turned aside from me these 3 times. If she had not turned aside from me, surely I would also have killed you by now, and let her live.
I have sinned, for I did not know you stood in the way against me. Now, therefore, if it displeases you, I will turn back.
Go with the men, but only the word that I speak to you, that you shall speak.
So Balaam went with the princes of Balak. Now when Balak heard that Balaam was coming, he went out to meet him at the city of Moab, which is on the border at the Arnon, the boundary of the territory. Then Balak said to Balaam,
Did I not earnestly send to you, calling for you? Why did you not come to me? Am I not able to honor you?
Look, I have come to you. Now, have I any power at all to say anything? The word that God puts in my mouth, that I must speak.
So Balaam went with Balak, and they came to Kirjath-Huzath. Then Balak offered oxen and sheep, and he sent some to Balaam and to the princes who were with him. So it was the next day that Balak took Balaam and brought him up to the high places of Baal, that from there he might observe the extent of the people. Then Balaam said to Balak,
Build 7 altars for me here, and prepare for me here 7 bulls and 7 rams.
And Balak did just as Balaam had spoken. And Balak and Balaam offered a bull and a ram on each altar. Then Balaam said to Balak,
Stand by your burnt offering, and I will go. Perhaps the Lord will come to meet me, and whatever he shows me, I will tell you.
So he went to a desolate height, and God met Balaam. And he said to him,
I have prepared the 7 altars, and I have offered on each altar a bull and a ram.
Then the Lord put a word in Balaam's mouth.
Return to Balak, and thus you shall speak.
So he returned to him, and there he was, standing by his burnt offering, he and all the princes of Moab. And he took up his oracle and said,
Balak, the king of Moab, has brought me from Aram, from the mountains of the east. Come, curse Jacob for me, and come, denounce Israel. How shall I curse whom God has not cursed? And how shall I denounce whom the Lord has not denounced? For from the top of the rocks I see him, and from the hills I behold him. There, a people dwelling alone, not reckoning itself among the nations. Who can count the dust of Jacob, or number 1/4 of Israel? Let me die the death of the righteous, and let my end be like his.
Then Balak said to Balaam,
What have you done to me? I took you to curse my enemies, and look, you have blessed them bountifully.
Must I not take heed to speak what the Lord has put in my mouth?
Please, come with me to another place from which you may see them. You shall see only the outer part of them, and shall not see them all. Curse them for me from there.
So he brought him to the field of Zophim, to the top of Pisgah, and built 7 altars, and offered a bull and a ram on each altar. And he said to Balak,
Stand here by your burnt offering, while I meet the Lord over there.
Then the Lord met Balaam, and put a word in his mouth.
Go back to Balak, and thus you shall speak.
So he came to him, and there he was, standing by his burnt offering, and the princes of Moab were with him. And Balak said to him,
What has the Lord spoken?
Then he took up his oracle, and said,
Rise up, Balak, and hear. Listen to me, son of Zippor. God is not a man that he should lie, nor a son of man that he should repent. Has he said, and will he not do? Or has he spoken, and will he not make it good? Behold, I have received a command to bless. He has blessed, and I cannot reverse it. He has not observed iniquity in Jacob, nor has he seen wickedness in Israel. The Lord his God is with him, and the shout of a king is among them. God brings them out of Egypt. He has strength like a wild ox. For there is no sorcery against Jacob, nor any divination against Israel. It now must be said of Jacob and of Israel, oh, what God has done. Look, a people rises like a lioness and lifts itself up like a lion. It shall not lie down until it devours the prey and drinks the blood of the slain.
Then Balak said to Balaam,
Neither curse them at all, nor bless them at all.
So Balaam answered and said to Balak,
Did I not tell you, saying all that the Lord speaks, that I must do?
Please come, I will take you to another place. Perhaps it will please God that you may curse them for me from there.
So Balak took Balaam to the top of Peor, that overlooks the wasteland. Then Balaam said to Balak,
Build for me here 7 altars, and prepare for me here 7 bulls and 7 rams.
And Balak did as Balaam had said, and offered a bull and a ram on every altar.